Have you ever felt like you know you want more money, more freedom, more alignment, but your life just stays the same? You think about it, you plan for it, you even take steps towards it, but nothing fully shifts. And over time, that gap between what you want and what you're actually living starts to feel frustrating, maybe even confusing. David William Pearce, and this week's MindCelium studies point to something very simple and very confronting. The problem isn't effort. The problem is desire. I've been studying Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and the studies begin with this idea that there is one quality required to succeed. Definitive purpose, backed by a burning desire. Not a preference, not a hope, not a this would be nice, but a burning desire, a passion, something so clear, so definite that it begins to organize your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. Most people never reach that point, and so they stay in motion but not in direction. Round and round the hamster wheel they go. The studies make the distinction clear. Wishing for something is not enough because wishing has no structure, no commitment, and no consequence. And so it produces no real change. A burning desire, on the other hand, is specific, is decided, and is acted upon. Without definiteness, your life defaults to what's familiar. There's a deeper layer underneath this. If you do not see riches in your imagination, Napoleon writes, you will never see them in your bank balance. This isn't about fantasy. It's about internal certainty. Before anything exists physically, it exists mentally. Every result, every business, every shift in identity starts as an idea that someone then chooses to believe in and bring into manifest, lived, embodied reality. The studies call these people practical dreamers, not people who just imagine, but people who take what they imagine and move with it. If you're watching this and recognize yourself feeling like you're circling the same patterns, wanting something to change but not fully moving, this is exactly the work I do. I work one-on-one with individuals to identify the pattern that's keeping them stuck, to interrupt it at the identity level, and to create a clear path forward so that change actually happens. If you're wanting to know more, you can find information in a link in the description. So the studies emphasize this. The world doesn't reward passive dreaming. It rewards those who hold a conviction in their vision, commit to it, and act on it. Practical dreamers are the pattern makers of civilization, and this is where most people hesitate. They have an idea, but they don't fully back it. They second guess, they delay, they look for certainty before they move, but certainty doesn't come first. Decision does. And if you don't act upon the idea that has been divinely gifted to you, then someone else will. Another key idea from this week's studies is that every successful person goes through struggle. They go through difficulty and failure, all of it, before they arrive. It's what builds their character. And if you're in that right now, you're not failing, you're just in the middle of the story. And you get to choose if you have that successful ending or if you don't. Because every failure carries the seed of an equivalent success. But most people interpret difficulty as a sign to stop. Instead of recognizing it as what it is, just part of the process. Often the turning point comes during a crisis. A moment where you're forced to see yourself differently. And from that place, something shifts. Not necessarily externally first, but internally. And from that internal shift, The thoughts that you have lead to emotions that fuel your actions, which create your habits which inevitably create change. So if you're watching this and you feel like you've been circling the same patterns, starting and stopping, wanting something but not fully moving, this might be the question for you. Is this something you truly desire? Or is it something you're still undecided about? Because your life reflects that answer. So if you actually want to understand and integrate this, there is a quiz in the description to help you get clear on what you want, what your desire is currently vague or diluted, and what needs to shift. So take your time with it, because clarity can change everything. Thank you for being with me here today. All the best, and see you in the next transmission. Cheers.